we've got here one of the tipper wagons for the Sparrow layout. We've got 14 of these, and they will need to carry quite comparatively fine material so the doors don't clog and jam as they discharge, because the opening is only about 10 mil. So big lumps of coal, for instance, will jam the door. So for the purposes of this test, I've got some fine ballast because it's simply what I had to hand. Now, what I've been looking at is a means of tipping it in the layout. And what I wanted to do was have a man tipping it. And so we have this man here. He's a white metal casting, modified, and we're going to see if he will do the job. So let us just roll the wagon down to him. This is simply a test, and let's see if he can discharge it from here. Now, the position has to be quite critical so that he doesn't get bashed by either a wagon or a passing loco, and I'm hoping this position will do. Might be able to move him out by 1.5 millimeters or so, but not much more. Now this ballast is going to make a right old mess, but we'll see how we go. The idea is there will be a very, very simple linear actuator operating this, but meanwhile this is just me pushing and pulling. So let's have a look and see what happens. And there we go. So that works. Now in practice, this will discharge into the hopper of a conveyor, which then lifts it and dumps it into the hold of a ship, rather than what's happened here, which is all over the track. But this is to demonstrate the mechanism of old Fred here. Now this seems to work quite well. If I take the wagon out of the way, let's have a look at what Fred's doing again. And the action is very simply, arms come up and he leans forward to accommodate the tilt of the wagon. And that will be operated by a very, very simple linear actuator, which I made the other day from one of these N20 gear motors with a very simple lead nut on it and slide bars fitted in the form of 1.6 silver steel rod, and then we've got some nickel silver wire, which is the operating rod off of this. And in reality, these will my nickel silver rod will shorten and attach to Fred's operating rod, much shorter, like that, something like that, and this will be mounted under the baseboard, and it'll be a push button operation, probably with some limit switches to ensure that nothing horrible happens. And this is a 12 volt, 1000 RPM N20 flip gear motor. So the principle works. And this is for, as I say, the layout, the Sparrow